Alright students, so this is an effort to revise the whole professional ethics in the shortest possible time and covering all the points, but let me tell you, this is for CA final audit professional ethics chapter and this is a revision video. Alright, as I have written in my notes also, this video is being recorded in April 2022. So after this November 22 onwards, the RTPs you have to just incorporate if you are looking at this particular revision videos. Normally this video will stay very much relevant for May 22 and November 22. May 23 onwards, I think we may have some amendments. That also, if at all it comes up, then you need to be worried. Alright, so that is the disclaimer that I wanted to give. Now my effort will be to revise professional ethics completely over here, and so that you can see it on the day of exams. Chalo, so without wasting time, we will move ahead. When it comes to professional ethics topic, you know that, see, this is a revision video, so few things I will assume. Alright, although I will be going through a lot of stuff in detail. So professional ethics, you know that it is asked in your paper for 16 marks, and this is nothing but code of ethics issued by the ICAI, do's and don'ts of a member of the institute. Alright, so whatever you study in this topic of professional ethics comes normally from these areas, that is Chartered Accountants Act 1949, CA Regulations 1988, Council General Guidelines 2008, and decisions of Ethical Standard Board. However, if I actually want to teach you professional ethics, then it is very important that you should be aware about some basic concepts. Alright, I have a different sequence of teaching this topic. At the end we end up covering the module, but I have a different sequence of teaching this topic. So first let us just focus on some concepts for understanding the code of ethics, and during these concepts we will end up covering some of the sections that are given over here. Alright, so first of all, how do you become a member of the institute? Alright, in order to become a member of the institute, currently the present is the present is over here, that you clear your CA final exams and the training, and apply for membership. You get your membership registered in the register of members, and you become member of the institute. So this is what you are aware of. However, you need to be aware about something more, that any person who has passed such other examination, foreign examination, which is equivalent to chartered accountancy, as notified by the Council of the ICAI with the prior approval of central government, then in that case you are eligible to get membership of the ICAI. Now let me tell you, for example, the ICAI has entered into MOU and MRA agreements with another foreign institutes, like for example CPA Ireland, for example Canadian Institute of Chartered Accountants. So even those members can come over here, clear some exams, and get the membership. Alright, so that is what you need to be aware of, what is written in section 4, who can become member of the institute. Now let me talk about the past. The past is when the act was introduced. So 1st July 1949, the notification of the act, that is why we celebrate 1st July as CA Day. So when the act was introduced, before commencement of such act, if you had passed certain examinations, then based upon central government conditions, you were allowed to get the membership of the ICAI under section 4 of CA Act 1949. Alright, then before the act came into picture, there were restricted certificate rules 1932, under which many professionals were given certificate of auditors. So if you are a holder of a restricted certificate of auditor before commencement of the act, then after the commencement you can get membership under section 4. That is how first set of members and first council was formed under the ICAI. Trust me, this knowledge will be helpful to clear some concepts that will come up in the topic of professional ethics. Then they have given in your module section 19. Section 19 just talks about the details of register of members. It is like, just remember, like an Excel sheet, any register of members, what kind of details it should have. Alright, so that is given over here in section 19. Then you know that all the members of the institute, they are divided into two categories. One is member of the institute in practice, and otherwise other categories not in practice. So you should be very clear about when you will be called as a CA in practice. If you are a member of the institute holding valid certificate of practice under section 6 of CA Act 1949, then you will be called as CA in practice. However, there are many members who have opened their office, alright, and may not have taken COP, and they have started providing services to the clients. That is why institute has introduced under section 2 definition section, the definition of deemed to be in practice. Alright, and they have said, as you can see, the arrow follows over here, that when as an individual or in partnership with others, in consideration of remuneration received or to be received, if you provide any of these services, then in that case you will be called as deemed to be in practice. As simple as that. Why they have introduced this definition? So that members cannot fool by providing these services and not taking COP. Why do some members don't take COP? Because the act is very strict when it comes to CA in practice. So some members avoid taking COP, but they end up providing these services. So anyways, you will be deemed to be in practice, you will be considered as a CA in practice, and you can be tried under this act. Additionally, you will be charged penalty for practicing without holding COP. Alright, okay. So which services? As you can see, I've given VACO accountant. So basically verification, accountancy, alright, consultancy, C for consultancy, preparation of data or any accountancy service that you are providing, auditing, verification, all of that covered over here. Alright, and such other services as in the opinion of the council, you may provide. Now that is what we should be worried about, and we should be concerned about. What are these other services as given in the opinion of the council? So these services are normally provided by chartered accountants, but in addition to that, now if you provide these services also, the services that you see on the next page, the list of management consultancy services, if you provide these services, still you will be treated as a CA in practice. Alright, now how do you remember this list of 28 services? A very important list. It has implication multiple times in the chapter. That is why I am saying that you should be clear about these basic concepts. Only then I can go ahead in this topic of professional ethics. Now listen to me. There is this list of 28 services, correct? Now how do we stay confident that we are aware about this list of 28 services? You should go through the list, and you should mark those services which you have heard for the first time, or which is surprising that, oh my god, even a chartered accountant in practice can provide these services. Alright, so like see, your FM first 4 or 5 services are with respect to your SFM subject only till here. Alright, so this will not trouble you, or this is not surprising that yes, we provide these services. Financial consultancy basically. Alright, but look at this. This is very surprising. Inventory management, material handling and storage. So you should go through the list in that manner. Let me give you all the surprising list, the list where they can catch you in exam. Alright, this inventory management, material handling and storage. Market research, demand studies are done by it, not a problem. Alright, as a part of project feasibility and stuff, we do that. Price fixation, management decision making, all of this is your SCMP topic. Cost control and stuff, yeah. But look at this, personal recruitment, my god. So getting the employees for my client, personal recruitment and selection. Setting up executive incentive plans, look at this, human resource services. Management and operational audit, so we have separate topics only. Wait. Let us focus on human resource services. Look at this. 17th, organization structure, behavior, development of human resource, including design and conduct of training programs, work study, job description, evaluation of workload, all human resource services. You should be worried about this concept. Alright, so be careful over here. Look at this, business plan, policy, corporate planning. This is more business consultancy also. But yes, these kind of services also provided by a chartered accountant in practice. Alright, so this is in your menu. Why do you need to read this list? For providing these services, you don't need permission from anyone. But yes, you need a COP. Alright, you need a COP for this. Alright, so such kind of services which can shock you, surprise you, you should make a separate list of that. Otherwise, management operational audit, that is a part of our chapters also, so it is fine. Valuation services we normally provide. Business consultancy, what should be their business policy, how they can grow ahead. And then 18th, you should read it at the end. Then look at this, acting as advisor or consultant to an issue of securities. What is this, acting as an advisor or consultant to issue of securities? So your IPO, FPO, that drafting of prospectus, helping you in getting the connections with the advertising agencies, helping you connect with the investors. Alright, so I can act as an advisor or consultant to your whole issue of securities. Then investment counseling, I can tell you where you should invest, investment counseling. Acting as registrar to an issue for transfer of security, so I can act as an official signing authority as a registrar, for issue or transfer of shares or other securities. Alright, quality audit, environment audit, energy audit. Quality audit is quality of product, environment audit is actually impact on the environment, energy audit is the utilization of energy. Alright, so these are all normally consultancy assignments. Acting as recovery consultant in banking sector, my god, this is something new. So you can provide consultancy on how banks can recover the amount from NPA. So acting as recovery consultant. Then insurance, financial advisory services, very sensitive, be careful, all new additions. Insurance financial advisory services, so I can give insurance financial advisory including insurance brokerage. This is something extremely sensitive that needs to be noticed, all right, that they have allowed. You can act as insolvency professional. Insolvency bankruptcy code, a completely separate practice that is getting developed now. So you can act as insolvency professional. You can provide administrative services like preparation of, GST returns and clerical services. You can do that, the routine or mechanical task within the normal course of operations. So not a problem at all. Now everyone over here, please be careful. One of their favorite 4 marks question. It is hereby clarified that a CA in practice is not allowed to visit pub, portfolio management services, underwriting and brokerage. You cannot provide pub services, portfolio management, underwriting and brokerage. Sir, what is this? Are portfolio management, you telling me that you have 50 lakh rupees and you are asking me to invest it on your behalf and manage your portfolio. Alright, so whatever returns I will earn for you, you will give me some commission from that. No, sorry boss, I cannot do it. Okay, I can counsel you where you should invest. Alright, and for that I may charge my fees. That's a different thing. But me handling your portfolio, your money being handled by me for management of securities, that cannot be done. That is portfolio management services. No. CA in practice just cannot provide this. Now don't get sensitive. Sir, if I am a chartered accountant, many a time students forget that there are some restrictions for CA in practice specifically, not for the whole chartered accountant community. Now after watching Harshad Mehta scam, if you are like, sir, I am a chartered accountant but I want to provide these services, then why can't I provide this service, sir? Sir, I want to open my own brokerage company. Are okay, yaar, you open the brokerage company, you go with that go with that music also, not a problem. Alright, but what are they trying to say over here? That if you're a CA in practice, you cannot provide portfolio management services, underwriting, giving that commitment of minimum subscription, and brokerage of securities not allowed. However, for insurance financial advisory including insurance brokerage is allowed. Do not forget about this. And I have never said that investment counseling is not allowed. I can always ask someone, I can always tell someone that where they should invest. Obviously that can be done, not a problem at all. All right, okay. So after going through this whole list, we understand one thing, that a CA in practice, what is the menu of a CA in practice? Overview of all the services. Statutory periodical audits always done by us. Tax services, tax audit, tax representation, tax advice done by us. Alright. Acting as later secretary. Sir, what is this later secretary? Regulation 191 of CA Regulation 1988 provides that we can act as later secretary and we don't need any permission from anyone for that. Liquidator, arbitrator, administrator. Administrator means executing the transactions of a particular trust or a debenture, debenture holders trust, or executing transactions on behalf of a trust. That is administrator. Trustee, executor, again executor, administrators one and the same. Receiver, receiving money on behalf of someone. Representative for tax, costing, financial matters. Secretary in professional capacity. So this is a very old regulation, 191 of CA Regulation 1988, but it still stands valid. Alright, it's still in existence, where they had elaborated the scope of a practicing chartered accountant. But now it is so much elaborated by this management consultancy services list. Alright, so a CA in practice overview of all the services that you can provide is this. Alright, okay. Now there is one explanation that needs to be noted over here, that ABC firm of chartered accountants, if they have one employee Raju, who is a CA and is in full-time employment with this ABC firm. Now you know that there are limited number of articles that can be registered under each partner. Once that quota is full, then the firm struggles to get to register new articles. That is why institute is allowed to register at least one article. One article can be registered under your full-time employee CA. Now articleship can be done only under practicing CA. So this employee Raju, who is a chartered accountant, under whom one article is allowed to be registered, that Raju, for purpose of training, that article will be considered as CA in practice. For all other purposes, it will be considered as CA in service, just to give you technical clarification. Then look at this. A member of the institute is deemed to be in practice during the period he renders services with armed forces. So when you render services with armed forces, you are normally taken as a retainer by the army for the 5 years contract period or so. So you will be treated as CA in practice during that period. Yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. Alright, so we are very clear about who is a CA in practice. Alright, one who is providing any of these services. As a chartered accountant, when you are providing these services, you will be treated as a CA in practice. Alright, so that is very clear. So it is better to hold COP and then provide these services. Otherwise they will put up a charge against you, that why are you providing these services without holding COP. And all others are considered as CA not in practice. CA not in practice is further divided into two for our discussion. One is CA in service, means who has been employed by someone, and then others, who will be handling some other business and stuff. All right. Now, we need to be very clear about ACA, FCA. The moment your name is entered in the register of members, you are ACA, associate member of the institute, alright, associate chartered accountant. The moment your name is entered in the register of members, you are deemed ACA. You can use letters ACA after your name. But to become FCA, either you should be ACA who is in continuous practice in India for at least 5 years. Remember, continuous practice in India for at least 5 years, or even if you are not fulfilling this criteria of continuous practice in India, but if you are continuous ACA for 5 years and your knowledge is equivalent to a knowledge that you would have gained being a practicing CA, that institute will judge through questions and through the forms that they will ask you to fill, then institute may grant you the permission. But let me be very clear, you can use FCA automatically. You cannot use FCA after completion of 5 years. You can use FCA only on filling the form and payment of fees, and that also after council grants approval. You can start using FCA after your name. Yes sir, yes sir. All right. So whenever you are reading the chapter of professional ethics, you should be very clear for what you are reading, whether you are reading for a chartered accountant in practice or chartered accountant in service, or you are reading, there are some provisions which are general guidelines for all the chartered accountants. And then you should be very clear about which type of misconduct is being discussed in this chapter. Alright, sir, what is this type of misconduct? Let me tell you. This whole chapter guides you that as a CA in practice or as a CA in service, what you should refrain from doing, what you should not do. If you do that, then you are guilty. So 95% of this chapter talks about your professional misconduct as a CA in practice when you're dealing with your clients, as a CA in service when you're dealing with your employers, or as a chartered accountant when you're dealing with the ICAI, So what you should not do, that has been given over here. So 95% of the topic talks about professional misconduct. But then institute has played a master stroke by introducing the concept of other misconduct. What is this other misconduct? Alright. Other misconduct. Let us say you have committed an offense. Listen to me very carefully. You have committed an offense in professional capacity. You have done something wrong professionally, but it was not covered under professional misconduct. Alright. So you have done something wrong professionally, but it was not covered under professional misconduct. For example, RBI has asked you to provide some information and you are not replying to the letters of RBI. You will be shocked to know this, that this is nowhere covered under the topic of code of ethics, under professional misconduct. But you are doing something wrong professionally, which is not covered under professional misconduct. Then council can inquire upon this and can hold you guilty under other misconduct because you are spoiling the name of the institute. Or in your personal affairs you go wrong. Let us say you're smuggling, or you go, ended up doing some act of domestic violence on your wife, or whatever it is, etc., etc. In your personal affairs you go wrong, and that spoils the name of the institute. Okay. Then still institute can conduct an inquiry on you under other misconduct. Yes. So that is the dual benefit of other misconduct. No, some professors or even some students, in a crash course type learning, they are like, professional misconduct, you do something wrong professionally, other misconduct, you do something wrong personally. No. Professional misconduct has been specifically discussed in this, code of ethics. Then other misconduct is like a balancing figure. Something wrong done professionally, not covered under professional misconduct, alright, or something wrong done in your personal affair and bringing disrepute to the name of the ICAI. So look at this. Other misconduct, it will empower the council to inquire into any misconduct of a member, even if it arises out of professional work but not specifically covered under professional misconduct, or it does not arise out of his professional work but brings disrepute to the profession in the opinion of the council. Alright, yes sir. So whenever you are reading professional ethics, remember one thing. Whenever you are reading professional ethics, you should check whether you are reading it for CA in practice or CA not in practice, or whether you are reading it for professional misconduct or other misconduct. Yes sir, yes sir. This disciplinary mechanism will come to this later on. Alright. Let us come to the main part of the chapter of professional ethics, and that is schedules to that. So there are two schedules, first schedule and second schedule. And under first schedule we have part 1, 2, 3, 4. Under second schedule we have 3 parts over here. Every part is dealing with something specific, like part 1 first schedule deals with CA in practice, professional misconduct, and then there are some clauses given over here. And as you can see, the last part, just like balancing figures, they are dealing with other misconduct. Yes sir, yes sir. Okay, why I've given this empty box? Just to tell you that whenever you get an answer, whenever you get a question which will ask you a reference, and of course at financial level they will ask you they will ask you to write the reference, all right, then you should always start your answer in this manner: according to clause dash dash of part dash dash of first or second schedule, a CA in practice, member of the institute in practice. Either the question will be dealing with CA in practice, or it is possible there could be a specific question for CA in service. All right, CA in practice, CA in service, or it could be a guideline for all the members. As you can see, members of the institute in generally, member of the institute generally, shall be deemed to be guilty of professional or other misconduct. 95% questions dealing with professional misconduct, but then there are 5% questions dealing with other misconduct also. So professional or other misconduct if, and then whatever is the clause, correct. So remember that your answer should always have a title to the answer, that just in 2-3 words what your whole answer is dealing with, all right, and then you give the reference and stuff properly. That has to be given, there is no option for that. Sir, then that is why I have given some blank spaces over here in the notes, so that you can write in one phrase what is that whole schedule and that part dealing with, all right, or the whole clause dealing with. You can write it properly, and then at one glance you will be able to revise before the day of exams. All right, so everyone over here, part 1 of first schedule, chalo we'll finish it off very quickly. Part 1 of first schedule, part 1 of first schedule deals with CA in practice and professional misconduct. That there are 12 clauses in this part. Hello, there are 12 clauses in this part, and part 1 first schedule is the only lengthiest thing. All right, so part 1 first schedule deals with CA in practice and professional misconduct. All right, so let us start this then.